Hello, Mandela class. Welcome back to your Talk for Writing lessons. Today we are going to write out the text map. So your learning objective is, can I write out our text map? We've said that we are going to write our text map. So I want you to think carefully about what is expected of you when you are doing your everyday writing. So what sort of things will make sure that your writing is at a high standard? Pause the video, list down a few things that you think are our everyday writing skills. And then I will share some with you, and you can compare your list to my list to see whether you've missed anything out. So pause the video and do this now. So what you've listed down, as well as if you want to add anything else once I show you this list, this is going to be your success criteria for today. So you must use it to make sure that your writing is at a high standard. Okay, what did you think about when you wrote down your everyday writing skills? Let's have a look at this list. So check your everyday writing skills success criteria against my expectations. Are there any you have missed? If so, please add them to your list to make sure that you meet all of the expectations. So did you write down that you must use your neat cursive handwriting? You must use cursive handwriting, so you must try your best to start every letter on the line and make sure that you join it onto the next letter. Did you remember punctuation? So you must always use punctuation in your everyday writing. You must use punctuation in the correct places. So just because you have gotten to the end of a line, that does not necessarily mean that it's the end of your sentence. You must make sure that you use punctuation in the correct place. Also, capital letters put in the correct places. So where do you need capital letters? We need capital letters for the beginning of each sentence and also for proper nouns. Proper nouns are names given to people or places. You must also read back through your work to ensure that it makes sense. So every now and then, go back to the beginning of your sentence or even the beginning of your paragraph to make sure you haven't missed out any words that is essential for making your sentence make sense. And finally, take your time to really think about what you are writing. However many times you need to go back and look at your text map again to remember the sentence, you can do that. You can keep repeating the sentence, holding the sentence in your head to make sure that you don't forget any words in that sentence. So don't rush your work, take your time. Okay, before we read the text map together and do the actions together, I'm going to show you again Miss Gossage's video to help you remember her actions, and listen to the text map one more time, and then I'm going to come back to this slide and we will have a go at doing this together, okay? Okay, if you are already confident, which hopefully you are, if you are already confident with the text map, do the actions with Miss Gossage. If you are not confident, then please look very carefully and try to learn it as you go so that when we go back to the slide, we can do it together. Ready?
The electric hairbrush. Introduction. The electric hairbrush was actually a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. What does it look like? The electric hairbrush was made of bristles, not electrical wires. It looked like an ordinary hairbrush, but it was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. What does it do? The electric hairbrush was said to cure baldness and make your hair thick and grow. It did not hurt to use the brush and became very popular. More information. Dr. George Scott stated only one person could use the hairbrush at a time. This meant more people bought the brush, with more than one in some households. The electric hairbrush was also said to cure headaches, amongst other diseases. Did you know the oldest hairbrush is 230 years old?
Okay, so now that we have seen Miss Gossage again, are you ready to have a go at doing this together? Make sure that you do the actions as well. So, starting with the title, let's start from the beginning. The electric hairbrush. Introduction. The electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. What does it look like? The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electrical wires. It looked like an ordinary brush, but was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. What does it do? The electric hairbrush was said to cure baldness and help hair thicken and grow. It did not hurt to use the brush and it became very popular. More information. Dr. George Scott said that only one person could use the brush. This meant that multiple people bought the brush, with more than one in some households. The electric hairbrush was also said to cure headaches, amongst many other diseases. Did you know the oldest hairbrush was 230 years old? Okay, well done, guys. If you need to go over this again, you can rewind the video, but we are going to start writing the text map now. So make sure that you use your success criteria that you wrote earlier on in the lesson. You must remember your neat handwriting, cursive handwriting. You must remember your punctuation in the correct places. You must remember your capital letters also in the correct places, and take your time, read back over your work to make sure it all makes sense. So I'm going to start off by doing some parts of the text map with you. Can you look very closely to see whether I make any mistakes or not? So I'm going to, well, first, I'm going to go back and look at the title very carefully. The electric hairbrush. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to get, okay. The electric hairbrush. Did you notice anything there? If you spotted the fact that I missed out 2 capital letters in my title, well done. So I should have a capital E and a capital H here. because every single word in a title must start with a capital letter. So now I'm going to look back. I might text map to see what the next part is. And before I do that, I'm going to select my shape pen. Hopefully you've got a straight object at home where you can underline the title. This is a shape pen, so it recognizes the shape that I'm trying to use. Okay. What's the next part? The next part is my subheading, Introduction. Introduction. I'm going to use my shape pen again and underline introduction. Okay, let me go back and see what the next part is. What is the paragraph underneath my subheading introduction? Well, the electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. I'm going to read that again. The electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. I'm going to now say it out loud one more time. The electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. Okay. The electric hairbrush was in fact a magnetic brush invented by Dr. George Scott. Just before I move on, did you spot a mistake in that sentence? If not, pause the video and look carefully. Where have I made a small mistake? Okay, so if you spotted that Dr. George Scott's full name, his surname didn't start with a capital letter, well done. Why does Dr. George Scott need to have capital letters? Because it is a proper noun. And I have remembered my full stop at the end. Okay, next paragraph. What does it look like? What punctuation do I need? Well, it's a question, so I would need a question mark. Okay. Please remember, from one section to another section, leave a line to make sure that your work is neat. What does it look like? Question mark. I'm going to get my shape pen again. Okay. The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electrical wires. So I'm just going to pause on that for a second. I'm going to write this part and then the next part. The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electrical wires. The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electrical wires. And the next part, it looked like an ordinary brush, but was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. So I'm going to go back and read from the beginning. The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electric wires. It looked like an ordinary brush. It looked like an ordinary ordinary brush, but was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. Pause the video. Read back over my paragraph really carefully. Do you notice anything? Well done if you spotted the fact that I forgot to separate my two sentences with a full stop. Where does my first sentence end? Let me read back over it. The electric hairbrush was made out of bristles and not electrical wires. That's where my first sentence ends. So what have I forgotten to include? A full stop. As a result of me forgetting to include the full stop and end my sentence, what have I forgotten straight after? I forgot to start my next sentence with a capital letter. It looked like an ordinary brush but was engraved with the inventor's name on the handle. Do you notice anything there? I have used a capital letter for the word inventor. Is that correct? No, inventor is just a noun. It's not a proper noun. A proper noun would be the inventor's actual name, Dr. George Scott. But every inventor is called an inventor. So that's not a proper noun. It's not a special name given to somebody. So that does not need a capital letter, just a small I. Inventor's name on the handle. Well done if you spotted any of my mistakes. So now that I've shown you how to do some parts of the text map, now it's your turn. Use your everyday writing skills success criteria to write out the whole of our text map. Please upload your work onto Tapestry with your neatest presentation. Well done, my Mandela class, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.